where Bitcoin is, and I want to show you how I
That's my
passed
dude,
through many boring times with Bitcoin,
Da Vinci.
and give you an
I've
example
been following this guy for some,
of that.
what,
Because
since
a lot of you
2006,
are
or
new to the
2008,
space, um,
well, probably
don't
2006,
want everything to
7,
happen
to
today. I
silver.
want Bitcoin to move today, and really, you can't do that. You
And
have
he's a
to
good guy about
wait
finances, man. He
a
pretty
little bit of
much
time,
understands
not a whole lot,
where it comes,
really,
like,
when you think about it.
the
I think
core
about
of it,
2 years
you
now,
know,
this
and what I be
year,
saying about
the
currency.
crazy pump is like unbelievable amount. But you just have to be patient, right?
You have to
And
be
let me
patient.
take you through my journey when I first got into Bitcoin, and we'll talk about each days or months as we go by, what happened, what was going on, and stuff like that. And just want to take you through that little story of mine, right? Over time.
Hey, shout out to our friend Ivan on Text that is in the stream.
Oh, Ivan on Tech. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream, the live stream here, man. This is a little bit of a memory lane for me. I remember when I first got into Bitcoin, it was like around March. It was March 2011 when somebody asked me, "Hey, what do you think about Bitcoin?" And the price was like 89 cents. I remember that, and I was like, "Wow, this is incredible, this thing. I'm going to find out, I'm going to buy some." And the price dumped. And I was like, oh, I don't care. Anybody want to sell me that cheap Bitcoin? I'll have it. I'll take it. I did a video said, hey, I'll take whatever Bitcoin you've got. And I'd be happy to get it for like I was like undercutting people. I was like saying, I'll give it to you. I'll take it for 60 cents.
God.
Yeah, exactly. You can imagine. And so I started telling all my friends, saying, dude, you got to get into Bitcoin, man, because this thing, it's going to be amazing, man. And it dropped to 60 cents here, you see, in April. Right? And I remember doing another video saying, hey, you know what? If you want to get rid of your Bitcoins, hook me up. And then I remember telling a friend of mine who deals with gold and silver at right about here, around $1. Hey, it's at $1 right about now. I think you should really pick some up right now.
That's the
And he's
video
like,
I remember him sending
I'll
out.
get some, right? And then a few
I
days
got this in my
later,
email,
right? It's at
my old account.
$3, right? And he's like,
I
yeah,
was buying up
it
silver,
just went up too fast,
and I was
too high,
subscribed
too
to him.
fast, right? And he was not interested. And
wasn't
then
either.
I got a lot of like flack, right, from different YouTubers. This is one of the YouTubers who were saying that it was a Ponzi scheme because, hey, you know what? It went up too far, right? People were just finding other people to sell it to, and that's all it's all about, is just finding another person to sell it to. And, well, that's what money is, actually, when you think about it. Because if I were to give you, if I were to take out
Great example, right?
like this $20 bill, this $20,000 bill, can you like do anything other than give it to somebody else?
Yeah, of course. I
Well,
can. I can buy anything I want.
No, but can you do anything other than give
Uh-huh.
it to somebody else to trade for something
No, I
else?
can't.
Can you like use it to clean your teeth maybe?
No, it's basically useless.
Exactly. Money is actually useless, and that's what it's supposed to be, useless for anything else other than trading it for something else. Keep that in mind, right? When you think about money, because most people, when they get into this Bitcoin thing, get into money, and they trading and they're making a lot of money, they forget a very important thing about money is that it's not about the numbers on the screen. Money is just a means to an end to accomplish something else. So if you're not gonna use it to accomplish something else, just having a bunch of numbers is useless on your screen. You have to remember what it's for and make sure you do use it for what it's really for. Plan for what you want and go and get it, and that's it, right? Don't use it. Don't use it to collect more because you're just going to end up losing. Basically, you'll end up losing
Pulled out
money
a
if you
$20,000
don't
bill.
remember what
Y'all ever
money
seen
is
that
for.
type
Buy
of-
something else. It's accomplish something else. It's not anything else but a tool. So please remember that. Just like the cell phone's a tool, money is just a tool. So anyways, it got up to $3, $4, and it did a little dip, right? And yeah, I was like, man, we're gonna be rich with this thing, man. This thing's going nuts. And went up to like $6. I'm like, damn, I started buying things, mining it and so forth. I was like, I opened up my own mining farm at my house, and I was mining this thing like crazy because nobody was selling to me. I couldn't find buyers. The only place to buy was at empty docks, and I was just not feeling sending them money just to buy because, like, you know what? I know how wire transfers work.
The video of your farm is in your channel?
Yeah, I have lots of videos of my my mining operations here. Let's bring some up. Here, let me see here.
So I remember like an alien guide through like
That's when
like
I
a
started
cave
doing. I
with
started
a
mining
lot of
Litecoin.
computers and it was like 40
And I had an
degrees
agent come up
Celsius
to
and
me
stuff.
at a
Crazy.
car dealership, but
Yeah,
not
there
a
we
car
go. This
dealership,
was
at
one of the,
a muffler place.
my mining
Right.
operations here, right?
While I was mining Litecoin.
Is a badass. Yeah, so here is. I'm gonna just scroll up to where
Came up to the
I
job
was
also.
mining some.
Another different
it was
agent.
Like really.
They was
crazy.
approaching me.
Yeah, this is
Still.
all I had. Like I was like punched into my power network here. As you can see, I was serious, and I had like serious amounts of equipment. I started actually at this point. I was selling out half of the equipment because I was
I'm gonna show
switching
y'all
to
my equipment
ASICs,
one day.
and
Just
yeah.
one
So
day.
most of the equipment, there was more equipment here. It just was sold
All the
off.
shit that I
at this
had back
point.
in the day.
But
Doing
this
it.
room, this box, was so hot, right? In the wintertime, right? You know, it's minus 30 in Canada. I was able to heat the house solely from my mining farm.
That's hot.
Yeah, that was that hot in the house, right? It was crazy heat, and I had like
Really hot.
like here. If I play it, you can hear the fan. I had a massive industrial fan to blow the heat out, to suck the heat out in order to get all that heat because there was a lot of heat.
If
It
you
was
was a
crazy.
grower,
Yeah,
you're
so
used
that was
to
my mining
maintaining
farm.
heat and temperature and
I
shit
watched
like
the price
that. So that's nothing.
go up and
It's
down
nothing.
a little bit here. I remember
He
these
just
the
wasn't
up
used
and down
to it.
times. I was like, oh my god, freaking out. Oh
You
my
a
god, it's
grower.
going down.
You
But then
know how
it
to
started
deal with
going
that
up,
bullshit.
and I remember depositing a little bit in order to try to trade this, but I didn't. I was like, forget it. I didn't bother. I didn't actually do a lot trading, and then went up to $32. And actually, you know what? I bought the peak. I bought the peak.
You went against your own rule?
Well, I wasn't a trader back then.
Ah, okay. So there was no rule.
Yeah, exactly. I bought the absolute top at $32. I bought Bitcoins at exactly $32, believe it or not. I remember somebody calling me up because I was like constantly advertising. I'd buy whatever Bitcoins you have. And somebody came to me and sold me a bunch of Bitcoins at $32. And then immediately the next day, boom, as you can see, it just got crushed. Absolute crushing. And then I was still like ready to buy it, and then it went down to $12. I remember somebody like calling me up and saying, "Hey, you want some Bitcoins? I'm selling it to you for $20." Well, the price is at $12. I'm not buying it at $20 when the price is at $12. The guy said, "Okay, I'll just wait." And then the next day it was like $22. And then I actually bought it at $20 as well. I bought Bitcoins at $20.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I was buying high. I was not a trader back then.
I
was just.
I think most of people in this channel, including me, is saying why I did not make it that time.
Right?
Why I did not know about Bitcoin. Look at that.
I know, exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. Those were the good old days. I mean, like, and I you know what? I was hurting, but I didn't care. I didn't care because you know what? Why I didn't care? Because I was buying silver. And I was watching silver go up and down like the whore's drawers, and I was losing my pants on silver, but I didn't care. And so it didn't hurt me that I was losing a little bit of money on this. I want to hold this thing for the big win. I knew this thing was going to revolutionize money and finance. And I was consistently talking about that. I remember shortly afterwards, here, let me just go a few more days into, what was it, May, June, right? Everybody's laughing at me at this point, calling me an idiot, calling me fools. I remember one Australian dude was selling silver and trading silver. He was a trader, and he and Don Harrell got together. And Don Harrell is another person back in the days. He deleted all his videos, and a lot of those people have gone and deleted all their videos because they don't want to look stupid.
That bad?
Yeah, exactly, that bad. They were calling me names like crazy, and they were calling Bitcoin the original S coin, right? So you know what I'm saying, right? They were calling it S coin, and also they were laughing at the fact that MT Gox, I remember Don Harrell did a video and said, I think this magic internet money is like a video game money. It's not real. It has no value, right? It was just created out. It's just a game and stuff like that.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
People are saying that the volume is way too low.
The volume's too low? Okay. I will turn up the gain here. Thank you. Oh, you know what? And right here as well. Thank you for that.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, how about now? How does it sound right now? Hello, can you guys hear me? All right, yeah. So say something, Inti.
Okay, probando.
All right,
1, 2, 3.
All right, yeah. So that should do it. Hopefully, I'm going to make sure that it's the same level on this section here. Okay, there we go. Don't know what happened, right? Anyways, so as I was saying, Don Harrell was talking about how this is just magic internet money. It's a scam. And then they got on together with I forget his name now. I wish I remembered his name because he had like a silver in his name. I can't remember what. Anyways, him and Don Harrell did a video, totally like dissing me. Saying how, you know what, Empty Gox used to be Magic the Gathering online trading card. So it makes perfect sense that this is like a scam, right? Because, this is where you buy it. And Empty Gox, the Magic that's trading online. And then, shortly after, on July 19th, I remember this, they rolled it back, all the trades. But here, July 19th, Bitcoin went to zero.
Crash in real time. I remember that.
Right, and Bitcoin just collapsed.
We are down to 1 cent.
Yeah, it went to 1 cent.
No buying. I remember that shit.
Yeah, and people then.
The critics have been talking mad shit.
People were like insulting me, saying, "See, it's worthless," and oh man, it was a brutal at the time. But I stuck with it. It was harsh. A lot of people hated me on my channel, and but I was determined to continue with this project because I knew, right, we need something like this, and the price just kept going down after that, and I started I created my own Bitcoin mining. Not only mining Bitcoin, but I also just started mining Namecoin at the same time because actually the Namecoin mining didn't with Bitcoin because Bitcoin and Namecoin you were able to do merge mining, so you were able to mine both Bitcoin and Namecoin at the same time back then. Shortly after, actually, you know what? Around this time, my mining pool was online because I had a lot of mining equipment, and I remember Slush.
I was mining Prime
Right,
Coin.
he scammed me into destroying. I almost destroyed Namecoin because I had so much mining power that I actually did a fork of the
You got more Litecoin for your mining
of the
power.
network because Slush he tricked me into rewriting the code, adding the merge mining, and what, the volume is still not good.
Yeah, people say now it's too loud.
It's too loud.
Yeah, so nobody love it.
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's turn it down a bit.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No problem. How about now? Is that better? Hopefully that's better. So let me know if that's a problem. Okay, so yeah, at this point in time, I was destroying the big Namecoin network, and I got upset at Slush, hated him for quite some time, and same with his partner who helped. But those guys, I lost a lot of Namecoins, but I forced them to pay me back all the Namecoin that I'd lost, right? Because I was mining of the wrong branch, right? And so obviously I forked the network, and I was mining a branch that no one else was following on the consensus. It was horrible. And but I got them to repay me back all the Namecoin, and then I started advertising my what's it called? My pool, and I started pushing my pool a little bit, and it was called nmcbit.com. It was my little pool for both mining Bitcoin and Namecoin.
It's 10 o'clock.
And so yeah, I was doing that. I remember the media. I forgot to mention the media was kind of uncertain about Bitcoin. They were just talking about it a little bit, and this was the day before the crash. Wow, look at that. They were talking about it, so yeah, I had to watch the price drop as I'm mining it all the way down to $2. And I remember that $2. It was like nobody was interested in Bitcoin at that point in time. It was like dead.
We were so full.
Like people were like, "Man, you took us down the wrong path." And I remember around I think it was in August, I decided to guarantee people's money on Bitcoin. I was so sure about that Bitcoin. I actually said, "Hey, you know what? If you buy any Bitcoin and you lose money, I will pay you back." Right?
I'm so curious. Why do you have so much faith in something like this uncertain as Bitcoin in that time?
Well, because one, I knew that I wanted to create the same thing a while back, 2 years back, and I researched about it, and I learned how the double spend problem has been a computer science problem for quite some time, and no one was able to solve it. And so, I once I saw what Bitcoin was, that there was a solution to the double spend problem. It was obvious to me. I mean, come on, you've got digital money that's decentralized for the first time ever. Hello, this thing is going to take root because you can't. This was not thought possible. Oh, well, thank you for the donation. What was his name? Is Econominus? Are you accessible? How likely would you take a look at code for something interesting? Oh, well, I don't know. I want, you know what? Honestly, I want to like read through the source code of not Litecoin, but the Lightning Network. And I did a little bit of that on the weekend, but not a lot. I'm determined because I want to like break it down and see how well it is and stuff like that. Hi Da Vinci, hi viewers is from I can't even remember, three non I don't know what is that.
It's a Russian name.
It's Russian.
I can't read something like that.
Yeah, you know what? I was supposed to get you a little gift there. I sent you a message on when you messaged me on the last video. Please send me a Twitter message if you're on Twitter, and I'll get you a gift, probably a. To buy, and you know her account did horrible at this point in time. As I tried to find like assets to buy, but there was absolutely nothing. And I tried getting her in at some of the 61.8s, but again, it was like she got a few doubles, but not much. And then you know in the summertime, which was the next alt season, things went really well, actually, even though Bitcoin was rising at this point after the halving, things went very well for all of us. And yeah, it was a great time, but then after August, right, things just slowed down and went down to a crawl. And you can see it hurts to watch the Bitcoin go up to $800 and come all the way back down to $400. I mean, that's just brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I was through this whole season here watching Bitcoin up and down like a horse drawers and going sideways. And I remember this point coming almost to the new high and then coming right back down. And you're like, oh my God. People were like, okay, this Bitcoin's dead again. Like, I remember the obituaries, just like, this is 2017, Bitcoin's dead. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like, don't you remember where we came from?
Exactly. And then you all know what the story is, because most of you came in at this point in time. Bitcoin climbed the wall of worry, and all the way to 20K. Wow. I remember at this point in time, people were like going all in on Bitcoin right here, right around here. All in. Just all in, people were like dumping everything they got on Bitcoin.
Oh.
I thought that was
That's
dumb.
Gambling.
I thought that was a dumb idea, but as you know, it didn't turn out to be that dumb.
They were hella lucky.
Right.
They were hella lucky because if you go in, it's because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember watching story after story around 2,000, 2,500 of people going all in. I remember people asking me nonstop, what do you think? Should I get into Bitcoin? So, and I was like, no, at $2,000, I was thinking that was just too much. But anyways, yeah. So, wow, we've been at 45 minutes. So anyways, let me just head over to questions so that this video is not that long. Wow. So, do you have some questions for me, Minty?
Yeah, I have some questions for the people. Most of the people are asking about some specific altcoins. I have some saved questions from the last stream. Or, for example, Guardian A asked, what was the highest amount of Bitcoins you ever owned? And the amount of Bitcoin you ever mined?
I remember mining 35 a day around the time when it was 50 Bitcoins. It was the reward. 35 was the height, was the peak time, peak amount that I ever got. Back in Chile, here in Chile, I was mining 25 Bitcoins a day when Bitcoin was running up to $1,000. So can you imagine the profitability of 25 Bitcoins at $1,000? That was just insane.
That's
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But I was having lots of fun with that.
So Aaron Demer asked about your talks about the Lightning Network and Bitcoin Cash.
Lightning Network and Bitcoin Cash. Well, Bitcoin Cash, it's unfortunate that Bitcoin Cash just didn't make it. I think if Ethereum decides to use the space in Bitcoin Cash, I think they might be around for a while. But unless someone finds a utility for all that space that Bitcoin Cash has with their blockchain, I don't see it surviving. For Lightning Network, I have some serious problems with Lightning Network. It's like a decentralized bank, basically. Decentralized bank, but not really. It's kind of decentralized bank from what I'm seeing. What's happening is when you open up a channel, you actually you give that person that money, basically, and then there's watchtowers that to make sure that they don't steal it. And so it's kind of strange in that way. And so if you're not connected, you could end up having them steal your money if you're not staying connected onto a Lightning Network. So effectively, a Lightning Network has to work for the average person. There has to be basically you have to connect to a node of somebody running a Lightning Network in order for this to work for the average person. And so I have to take a look at the source code in order to see if this is viable, right? Because if you can't if you can't trust the node, because that's what you're going to need to do, you're going to have to trust the node with your Lightning money. That's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like centralized in a sense, because you know what, the node has to stay on, or they could potentially lose the money that you deposited there on that node. So it's kind of scary, if you ask me. I've lost a little bit of money on Lightning Network, so yeah, I don't know if it's ready for prime time. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to play around with it some more.
Fission Crypto asks, quick question, Da Vinci. You're always so positive about Bitcoin, which is true. Do you also have any long-term concerns or maybe doom scenarios that you're worried about?
Okay, well, I'm worried about an asteroid hitting the planet.
Yeah, about Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin's useless if an asteroid hits the planet, so that's that, right? Right. I mean, you have to understand the usefulness of money. Money is basically a concept between a group of people that agree that this thing has value because of certain features. And if those features go away because, for example, we lost a database or there's no way to communicate, that's a problem, especially with Bitcoin. Gold, of course, is not going to help you that much because if we've disconnected from our global trade, that's also a big disaster on an epic scale. So yeah, my problem now is not so much of a hack or crack in Bitcoin. source code, or even if somebody like the quantum computers come up with a they break the encryption algorithm. It's not. It was designed. Bitcoin was designed with the knowledge that the encryption algorithm would be broken eventually, and it's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. So I'm not going to go into details of why it's not a problem in this video, but it's just, trust me, it's not a problem. That's why I love Bitcoin so much. The guy thought of everything. All right, so what's the next question?
Next question. Yeah, that is interesting because I don't know if you watch it in the comments. The people are saying they are making a quantum weapon to destroy Bitcoin and stuff. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, you can go ahead, go right ahead, but all you're gonna do is like anybody who's used an address more than once is where you could have access to that money. If they've moved the bitcoins to another address that they've never used, the quantum computer does not have access to that money at all. It will never be able to hack the encryption in order to steal the money from an address that you transfer that you've never used. And that is the power of Bitcoin to cover up what encryption is being used, right, with an address that you've never ever used.
So Pablo Storm from the last stream asked, do you suggest putting all your savings, all your life savings into Bitcoin? Is it safe to do something like that?
You know, thinking back, if I were to go back in time, I would say I regret it. I sometimes regret not going all in on Bitcoin. I'll let you know that, because I only want 2%. And do I feel that you should do 2% in Bitcoin today? Yes. Yes, I do. It's hard not to go all in, especially since this thing is not going anywhere. They're not going to be able to stop it. And the new heights that this is going to will freak out Peter Schiff. Who says it's a Ponzi scheme and it's going zero. He will have a heart attack and die. Probably.
He probably owns a lot of Bitcoin too.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't?
No.
Yeah, most of people say, no, Bitcoin's trash, I don't know, and they have a lot.
Yeah, but he does not.
Okay.
He does not. Maybe his kid does, but I know he doesn't. So, all right. So, next question.
Next question. Okay.
Things you will get on this channel.
This is interesting. There is a chance for a miner to pick the transaction he like, or they must go by list or something.
Miner can pick the transaction that they like. Yes, they can. What they do is it's not like really effectively somebody going, okay, see that transaction over there? I like that. No. They have like they're programmed in. Okay, hey, if the transaction fee is high enough, is high compared to what they already have, they will go ahead and add that to the pool. Now, you could use that this knowledge of how they work to your advantage. What happens is Bitcoin uses UTXO, and I'm not sure if I can explain UTXO very well in a short time, but I'm going to try anyways. Basically, when you send a transaction to someone, let's just say you send you send all your Bitcoins. You send let's just say you send you have 2 Bitcoins, and you send 1 Bitcoin, but you put in a low fee, like really ultra low fee. What happens is you have even though you have 2 Bitcoins, those 2 Bitcoins gets split. One comes back to you as change, and the other one goes to the other person. Now, the other person realizes that you put in a low fee and needs that Bitcoin now. what they can do is spend it to themselves at a higher fee, and this way, because the miner will go look at the higher fee, the last fee, and go, oh, look at that. But they will have to put the connecting transaction into the block as well. So they will take the both transactions, the one that's with the higher fee and the one with the lower fee, and place it into the block. And you can use that to your advantage in order to get your transactions to be confirmed faster. So I use it this way. When I know that I'm sending the Bitcoins to a bunch of people, I need to send a bunch of Bitcoins to a bunch of people. I send a lot of low fee Bitcoins, and then I send one high fee Bitcoin. And then because they're all interconnected transactions, they all get settled all at once on the block. So that's how I kind of trick the miners into giving me a bunch of transactions at a lower fee.
Okay, so Mirko Tulner asked, Da Vinci, I want to use your little lady method of investing, and there's this OKX exchange. Seems like it's
OKEX, yeah, OKEX exchange, yeah.
He asked if you have any idea if it's legit or not.
I've used that exchange before, but only to sell, and not to actually trade on that exchange. I don't unless it's a big exchange. I don't really trust them. So I would suggest you stick with the big guys like Bitfinex. Bitfinex is fine, I guess, but you know, I'm really nervous at Bitfinex. I think they might go under any day now, at any point in time, because of, you know, I just feel that they don't have the money, the tether money, and they seem to be dodging a lot of bullets. But one day they're gonna run out. They're gonna run out of 9 lives, and then they're gonna be done. So I'm a little wary of Bitfinex, but that's why I like Bittrex and Binance. And also Poloniex, even though Poloniex is like, yeah, but I think they're still going to be around. I'm kind of, you know what, I want to dump all. Actually, to be honestly, I want to get away from Poloniex. I'm starting to like get a little nervous because they've been sold off so many times. So I have some Poloniex. I have some money in Poloniex. I think I'm going to actually leave after this video. I'm going to actually sell everything off and move it to another exchange. Yeah, so that's how I feel about those exchanges.
Okay, this is a really interesting question from last stream.
Okay.
Where I can't pronounce that name. I really can't.
Okay, that's all right.
It says, do you think Bitcoin cycles are dynamic or is it unpredictable?
Well, I think the cycles are effectively for the halvening. We've got a clear point of where Bitcoin will do a huge move. So after every halvening, 2 years later, we're going to see big moves up. We're going to see Bitcoin move in an upward direction. That will be cyclical, but that won't go on forever. Of course, there will be a plateau for Bitcoin, and then it will just move slowly higher over time. But in this new environment with higher end money coming in, we're going to see something. I think we're going to see Bitcoin run before the halvening, maybe even dump just before the halvening. But we might see things move a little different this time around because of the institutional money coming into this space.
A couple of people were asking how to deal with taxes when you're selling your Bitcoins. They should go to a financial advisor, right?
Yeah, I the best thing to do for Bitcoin taxes, sorry, is to buy and hold, and then if you sell, just make sure that you have to absolutely sell, and you just cover the difference on the taxes and just write it into your tax return form, and that's that. So keep it simple as possible for you as an individual. If you have a large sums of Bitcoin or large sums of money and you're an American, open up a trust company right away. Open up a trust company and place all that money into the Bitcoin. There will be a tax hit on that, but anything after that is not taxable when you trade in and out between even currency and the cryptocurrencies, whatever, Bitcoin or whatever. So you'll be able to trade under the umbrella of that corporation without a tax hit. And only when you take a salary from that corporation do you get taxed. So that would be the best advice if you have enough money to open up a corporation to in the United States to do the trading for you. So that's my advice for anyone out there with enough money. And I think there are quite a few people. If you have like 10 Bitcoins, you know what? You need to open up a corporation. If you have close to 10 Bitcoins, open up a corporation, paste it in there, take the tax hit, sell, just get the corporation to pay you a salary to cover the tax liabilities, and then go from there. Because once Bitcoin takes off, you don't want to have to you don't want to have to pay taxes every time you want to trade out, because you want to, okay, well, you know what, I want to go to dollars when it pops out, or I want to go to gold or switch to another stable coin. You don't want to deal with tax situations when you're not actually taking the money to spend. And an additional feature of having a corporation is that if you want to go to a Bitcoin conference, right, you can spend the money from the business, and they will pay, the corporation will pay for your trip to the conference, and there's no tax liability owed based on that travel expense. So yeah, it's so much better if you have a corporation. There's so many things you can do, so much more you can do when it comes to taxes. Also, you can write off losses that have occurred in the past. You can't do that so much with, let's just say, as an individual, you sold Bitcoins at the end of the year for a win, a positive gain, and then in the next year, like in January, you lost millions of dollars. Well, the IRS does not care about your losses. You still owe them the money when you sold it in December, and that's that. And you can't you can't offset the losses. With a corporation, you can do that in the next year, right? The IRS does not want you gambling with their money, so that's how they feel as an individual. But with corporations, you can get away.
You see what he said with their money.
Take losses in the next year,
the IRS
and
is a
have them
private
cover
corporation
the winnings of the previous year.
hired to follow the money that is privately owned by
One classic question:
families.
Is this a good
That
time
is
to buy?
not you.
Yes. Bye.
It is not the government.
I'm actually going to
or the Treasury
message
Department.
some of my friends and everybody.
They have no matters or say
are no coiners
into the dealings
tell them
of the
this.
families that own
At
the
this point in
United
time,
States note.
If you're not
As
buying,
people call dollar.
and you're a friend of mine, you're going to regret it in 2 years, right? You're gonna be calling me up in about a year from now, asking me if I should be buying, and you know what I'm gonna tell you? No. So do it now when nobody wants to buy, everybody's afraid
Everybody's afraid.
and concerned. Because
Concerned.
a year from